In a world filled with constant noise, endless demands, and an unrelenting push to achieve more, many of us feel overwhelmed and disconnected from ourselves. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that true peace and growth are not found in adding more to our lives, but in letting go of the things that no longer serve us. By quietly eliminating the unnecessary, we create space for clarity, inner calm, and a deeper connection to our purpose. In this guide, inspired by Buddhist principles, we'll explore 10 things you should quietly eliminate from your life to achieve inner peace and meaningful growth. These changes don't require dramatic announcements or external validation. They are quiet, personal transformations that focus on freeing yourself from mental, emotional, and physical burdens. Eliminate the fear of others' opinions. Fear of judgment is a heavy burden that many of us carry. It shapes our decisions, dictates our actions, and keeps us from living authentically. We worry about how we appear to others, what they might think of us, or how they might react to our choices. This fear can be paralyzing, trapping us in a cycle of self-doubt and hesitation. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of detachment from external validation. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment to things, outcomes, and even opinions. When we let go of the need for approval, we free ourselves from the chains of judgment. One way to start letting go of this fear is to reflect on its origin. Ask yourself, why do I fear what others think? Often, it stems from a desire to be accepted or loved. However, true acceptance comes from within. Buddhist mindfulness practices can help you recognize this fear without judgment. When you notice yourself worrying about others' opinions, pause and breathe. Remind yourself that these thoughts are just that, thoughts. They do not define you. Here's a simple practice to build confidence and let go of this fear. Start small by doing something that you've avoided because of fear of judgment. It could be expressing an opinion in a group or wearing something bold that you love. Notice how it feels to take that step. Over time, these small acts of courage build resilience. The truth is, people are often too consumed with their own lives to focus on you as much as you think. Even when they do judge, their opinions have no real power over your happiness or growth. By letting go of the fear of others' opinions, you reclaim your freedom to live authentically and align your actions with your values. 2. Let go of toxic relationships. Relationships are a fundamental part of life, but not all relationships are healthy. Toxic relationships can drain your energy, undermine your confidence, and hinder your growth. These connections might not always be obvious. They can appear as subtle criticism, constant tension, or a lack of mutual respect. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate loving kindness, metta, and compassion, both for ourselves and others. However, compassion does not mean allowing ourselves to be harmed or depleted. Letting go of toxic relationships is an act of self-compassion. Begin by identifying the relationships in your life that feel one-sided or draining. Reflect on how these relationships make you feel. Do you leave interactions feeling supported and valued, or do you feel small and exhausted? Once you've identified a toxic connection, consider setting boundaries. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about protecting your peace and well-being. For example, if a friend constantly criticizes you, you might choose to limit your time with them or redirect conversations away from negative topics. In some cases, open and honest communication can transform a difficult relationship. Express your feelings calmly and clearly, and see if the other person is willing to work on the connection. However, not all relationships can be saved, and that's okay. If you've tried to improve a relationship and nothing changes, it might be time to let go. This doesn't mean you don't care about the person. It means you care enough about yourself to prioritize your mental and emotional health. Letting go of toxic relationships can be difficult, especially if guilt or fear of confrontation holds you back. Remember that you are not responsible for someone else's behavior or happiness. Your well-being is your responsibility, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift and support you. As you quietly eliminate toxic relationships from your life, you'll notice a sense of relief and freedom. You'll create space for healthier, more meaningful connections that nourish your spirit and align with your values. This act of letting go is not about rejection, it's about choosing love and kindness for yourself. 3. Release unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations are silent burdens that create unnecessary stress and disappointment. Whether it's expecting others to meet your exact standards, assuming life will always go as planned, or believing that success should come quickly and effortlessly, these expectations widen the gap between reality and your ideal vision. When reality doesn't match up, frustration and suffering follow. Buddhism teaches that suffering often arises from attachment to desires and expectations. The Buddha's teachings on impermanence, anicca, remind us that life is ever-changing and unpredictable. Clinging to rigid expectations ignores this fundamental truth and sets us up for disappointment. Letting go of these unrealistic demands can bring peace and acceptance. Start by identifying where you hold unrealistic expectations. Do you expect others to behave in ways that align perfectly with your needs? Do you demand perfection from yourself in every task? Reflect on how these expectations impact your relationships, work, and mental health. For instance, expecting your partner to always understand your feelings without communication might lead to resentment. Similarly, expecting yourself to excel at everything without mistakes creates unnecessary pressure. To release these expectations, practice acceptance and gratitude. Shift your focus from what's lacking to what's present. For example, instead of expecting others to meet your every need, appreciate the moments when they show care and support. Instead of expecting flawless outcomes, celebrate progress and effort. Mindfulness can help here. When you find yourself getting frustrated, pause and bring your attention to the present moment. Ask yourself, what am I expecting, and is it realistic? Another helpful practice is self-compassion. Unrealistic expectations often stem from a harsh inner critic. If you make a mistake or fall short of your goals, remind yourself that imperfection is part of being human. Speak to yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. By letting go of unrealistic expectations, you create room for joy and contentment in the present. Life becomes less about achieving perfection and more about embracing what is. 4th, stop chasing control. The desire to control every aspect of life is a common source of stress. We try to plan every detail, predict every outcome, and steer every situation to our advantage. While planning and preparation have their place, excessive control is rooted in fear of uncertainty. This fear leads to frustration when things inevitably don't go as planned. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while letting go of what we cannot. The Serenity Prayer, though not Buddhist, aligns with this teaching. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Begin by recognizing the areas where you cling to control. Do you try to dictate how others behave? Do you obsess over the future or ruminate on the past? These habits can drain your energy and distract you from the present. One way to let go of control is by practicing detachment from outcomes. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means doing your best in any situation and then releasing your attachment to the result. For example, if you're preparing for an important presentation, focus on your effort and preparation rather than obsessing over how others will perceive it. Detachment allows you to approach challenges with clarity and calmness. Mindfulness meditation can also help. By focusing on your breath or the sensations in your body, you train your mind to stay in the present. This practice reduces the need to control external events because it strengthens your ability to find peace within yourself. Another strategy is to embrace uncertainty. Life's unpredictability is not something to fear, but something to accept. When plans change or outcomes differ from your expectations, remind yourself that this is part of the natural flow of life. Instead of resisting, adapt. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means redirecting your energy to what truly matters, your inner peace, your actions, and your perspective. By releasing the need to control everything, you open yourself to life's surprises and find freedom in its flow. 5. Detach from material possessions. In modern society, material possessions are often seen as symbols of success, security, and happiness. We accumulate more and more, hoping to fill a void or prove our worth. However, Buddhist teachings remind us that true happiness comes from within, not from external things. The concept of non-attachment, upadana, is central to Buddhism. It doesn't mean you must give up everything you own, but that you should not let your possessions define you or control your happiness. Clinging to material things creates fear of loss and dissatisfaction because no object can provide lasting fulfillment. Start by reflecting on your relationship with possessions. Are there items you hold on to out of fear or a false sense of identity? For example, do you keep things because you're worried about what others might think if you let them go? Do you feel anxious about losing expensive items or frustrated when new purchases fail to bring lasting joy? A practical step is to declutter your space. Begin with items that no longer serve you, clothes you don't wear, gadgets you don't use, or decorations that don't bring joy. As you let go of these items, notice how it feels. Many people describe a sense of lightness and freedom. Another practice is gratitude. Instead of constantly striving for more, appreciate what you already have. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, reducing the desire for unnecessary possessions. For instance, instead of buying the latest phone, reflect on the ways your current phone serves you well. Mindfulness can also help. When you feel the urge to buy something, pause and ask yourself, do I truly need this? Will it bring lasting joy or just temporary satisfaction? This simple habit can reduce impulsive spending and help you align your actions with your values. By detaching from material possessions, you free yourself from the endless cycle of wanting and acquiring. This creates space for deeper fulfillment, connection, and peace. 6. Eliminate digital overload. In the age of constant connectivity, digital overload has become a silent thief of peace. The endless scrolling, constant notifications, and comparison on social media drain mental energy and pull us away from the present moment. While technology has its benefits, overusing it can leave you feeling anxious, distracted, and disconnected from real life. Buddhist teachings on mindfulness, sati, emphasize being fully present in each moment. Digital distractions pull us away from this presence, scattering our attention and preventing us from truly engaging with the world around us. Letting go of digital overload is not about abandoning technology, but about using it intentionally. Start by assessing your relationship with technology. How often do you reach for your phone out of habit? Do you find yourself checking social media or emails compulsively? Reflect on how these habits affect your mood, focus, and relationships. For example, do you feel stressed after reading negative news or inadequate after comparing your life to others online? To reduce digital overload, create boundaries for technology use. Set specific times to check your phone or social media and avoid using devices during meals or before bed. You can also designate tech-free zones in your home, such as the dining table or bedroom, to encourage real-world connections. Another effective strategy is to declutter your digital space. Unsubscribe from unnecessary emails, unfollow accounts that don't inspire or uplift you, and organize your digital files. Simplifying your digital environment reduces mental clutter and makes your technology use more intentional. Mindfulness can help you reconnect with the present moment. The next time you feel the urge to check your phone, pause and take a few deep breaths. Ask yourself, why am I reaching for this? Is it necessary right now? This simple pause can help you break the cycle of mindless scrolling and create space for more meaningful activities. By reducing digital overload, you gain clarity, focus, and time for what truly matters. Instead of being controlled by your devices, you take control of your attention and energy. Seventh, let go of comparison. Comparison is a natural tendency, but it can be a major source of unhappiness. Whether it's comparing your achievements to a colleague's, your appearance to someone on social media, or your lifestyle to a neighbor's, this habit creates feelings of inadequacy and jealousy. It blinds you to your unique journey and the abundance in your life. Buddhism teaches the importance of equanimity, upekkha, a state of balance and acceptance. Letting go of comparison helps cultivate this inner peace by shifting your focus from external measures of success to your personal growth and values. Begin by recognizing when comparison arises. For example, do you feel envious when a friend shares a promotion or when someone posts about a luxurious vacation? Acknowledge these feelings without judgment. They are normal, but they don't have to control you. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to comparison. Instead of focusing on what others have, reflect on what you are grateful for in your life. For instance, if you envy someone's career success, remind yourself of the skills and opportunities you have. Gratitude shifts your perspective from lack to abundance, reducing the need to compare. Another practice is to celebrate others' successes without diminishing your own. Buddhism emphasizes compassion and interconnectedness. When you rejoice in someone else's happiness, you strengthen your own sense of joy and connection. For example, if a friend achieves something you admire, offer genuine congratulations. This practice not only reduces envy, but also deepens your relationships. Mindfulness can help you stay grounded in your own path. When you find yourself comparing, pause and bring your attention to the present moment. Ask yourself, what am I doing right now and how can I make the most of it? This helps you redirect your energy from comparison to action. Letting go of comparison doesn't mean ignoring others' achievements. It means valuing your journey as unique and worthy. By focusing on your growth and practicing gratitude, you find contentment and peace in who you are. 8. Stop clinging to the past. The past, whether filled with regret, pain, or nostalgia, can hold us back from living fully in the present. We replay old mistakes, dwell on lost opportunities, or long for days gone by. While reflecting on the past can offer valuable lessons, clinging to it creates unnecessary suffering. Buddhist teachings on impermanence remind us that everything is constantly changing. The past is gone, and the present is all we truly have. By letting go of the past, we free ourselves to embrace the opportunities and beauty of the moment. Begin by identifying the aspects of the past you're holding on to. Is it a mistake you regret? A relationship that ended? A time when life felt simpler? Acknowledge these feelings without judgment. It's natural to feel attached to what was familiar, but clinging to it prevents you from moving forward. One way to release the past is through forgiveness. If you're holding on to resentment or guilt, practice forgiving yourself or others. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful actions. It means freeing yourself from the burden of anger and regret. For example, if you regret a decision that didn't go as planned, remind yourself that you did the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. Mindfulness meditation can also help. When thoughts of the past arise, observe them without attachment. Imagine them as clouds passing through the sky. Acknowledge their presence and let them drift away. This practice strengthens your ability to stay present and reduces the power of past memories over your emotions. Another practice is to focus on the lessons the past has taught you. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, reflect on how those experiences shaped your growth and resilience. For instance, a difficult relationship might have taught you the importance of boundaries or self-respect. By letting go of the past, you create space for the present and future. Life becomes less about what was and more about what is and what can be. This shift brings a sense of freedom, peace, and possibility. 9. Free yourself from the need for perfection. The pursuit of perfection often feels like a noble goal, but in reality, it can be a heavy burden. Whether it's striving for flawless work, ideal relationships, or a perfectly planned life, this need creates unnecessary pressure, self-doubt, and dissatisfaction. Perfection is an illusion. It can never be fully achieved because life is inherently imperfect. Buddhism teaches us to embrace imperfection as a natural part of existence. The concept of dukkha, often translated as suffering or dissatisfaction, reminds us that life is not always smooth or ideal. Letting go of the need for perfection allows us to find joy and contentment in the present, just as it is. Start by recognizing areas in your life where perfectionism holds you back. Do you delay starting projects because you fear they won't be perfect? Do you criticize yourself harshly for small mistakes? Reflect on how these tendencies affect your peace of mind and progress. For example, constantly striving for a perfect outcome can lead to procrastination, burnout, or a sense of failure. To let go of perfectionism, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge that making mistakes is part of being human. When you fall short of your own expectations, remind yourself that your worth is not tied to your achievements. Speak to yourself with kindness, as you would to a friend. For instance, instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," try, "I gave my best effort, and that's enough." Another helpful practice is focusing on progress rather than perfection. Celebrate small wins and improvements, no matter how minor they seem. For example, if you're learning a new skill, appreciate each step forward rather than fixating on mastering it immediately. This shift in mindset reduces pressure and makes the journey more enjoyable. Mindfulness can also help you embrace imperfection. By staying present, you let go of worries about past mistakes or future outcomes. When things don't go as planned, pause and take a deep breath. Remind yourself that imperfection is a normal part of life's flow. Over time, this practice helps you develop acceptance and resilience. Letting go of perfection doesn't mean settling for mediocrity. It means finding balance and appreciating the beauty in imperfection. By freeing yourself from this need, you open the door to greater peace, creativity, and fulfillment. 10. Eliminate the fear of change. Change is one of life's only constants, yet it's something many people fear. Whether it's a new job, the end of a relationship, or moving to a different place, change can feel unsettling. This fear often arises from a desire for stability and predictability. However, clinging to what is familiar can keep you stuck and prevent growth. Buddhism teaches that all things are impermanent, anicca. Recognizing this truth helps us accept change as a natural part of life rather than something to resist. Instead of fearing it, we can learn to embrace it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. Start by reflecting on your feelings about change. What types of changes make you uncomfortable? Is it the uncertainty of the future, the loss of the familiar, or the fear of failure? Understanding the root of your fear can help you address it with clarity and compassion. One way to ease the fear of change is by focusing on the present moment. Often fear arises from imagining worst-case scenarios that may never happen. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation or deep breathing, can help ground you in the now and reduce anxiety about the unknown. For example, if you're anxious about starting a new job, take a few minutes each day to focus on your breath and remind yourself that you have the strength to adapt. Another helpful practice is reframing your perspective on change. Instead of viewing it as a threat, see it as a chance to learn and grow. For instance, ending a relationship might be painful, but it could also open the door to deeper self-awareness and new connections. Ask yourself, what opportunities does this change bring? Compassion toward yourself during times of change is essential. Acknowledge that it's okay to feel uncertain or scared, but don't let those emotions paralyze you. Take small, manageable steps toward embracing change, whether it's updating your resume for a new job or reaching out to a supportive friend for guidance. To further cultivate acceptance, remind yourself of past changes you've navigated successfully. Reflect on how those experiences helped you grow or brought unexpected blessings. This perspective can give you confidence to face future changes with courage. By letting go of the fear of change, you free yourself to flow with life's natural rhythm. Instead of resisting, you learn to adapt and find peace in the midst of uncertainty, living with intention and inner peace. Now that we've explored these 10 things to eliminate from your life, it's clear that each step aligns with Buddhist principles of mindfulness, compassion, and detachment. Letting go of burdens such as fear, comparison, and perfection allows you to create space for inner peace, clarity, and growth. Buddhism reminds us that transformation doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with small, quiet changes in how we think and act. By practicing mindfulness and cultivating acceptance, you can free yourself from unnecessary suffering and embrace a life of greater freedom and fulfillment. Letting go of what no longer serves you is the first step toward a life of true peace and growth. By eliminating fear, toxic habits, and unnecessary distractions, you create space for clarity, joy, and fulfillment. These small, mindful changes can lead to profound transformation, helping you align with your purpose and live with intention. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who are seeking peace and growth. Let's continue this journey together toward a more mindful and fulfilling life. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.